What's up, guys? Hopefully I got the audio fixed. Let me know if you guys can hear me. What's up, guys? Sorry about the audio problem. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hey, somebody give a shout out if you can hear me or not. Ah, you can hear me. Patsy, you can hear me. All right. I know what it looks like. I'm not doing a swastika right here. Not gonna do it. So basically what these are called is, they call them never-ending lines, or a never-ending maze. This is not necessarily never-ending because it does end off and goes to the edges, but if I was to connect all these to where the tape just doesn't, the line just doesn't end, and I guess that's what they would be called, but I just call this a maze. I think that's what most people call it. And I just try to make the lines look, I guess, not really even, but yeah, kind of spaced out. If it doesn't look good, just pull it off. Maybe something else through here. That way. Right there? Tell me all what you think. Right there? No. I'm going to go right there. I like that. Make sure that all my edges are pressed down real good. So I already have the airbrush mixed up with some House of Color blue. And I mixed just a couple of drops of red candy in with it to make kind of a dark blue purple. I'm going to turn the air pressure down just a little bit on that. Sorry guys, hopefully I have the sound now. Of course something's gonna mess up. Can you hear me now? Thug stacking. All right. Is it gonna fall? Let's see. No, it's not gonna fall. All right, yeah, my microphone ran out of batteries. We're on the phone mic now. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. What I kind of did, I kind of did say a lot there, so I'm not sure what you missed, but here's kind of the rundown. What I did here is I started with the silver flake, my lime line, sprayed that down, and I clear coated it. Once the clear coat was dry, I sanded it with 600 grit, and I laid out the fine line tape. Use 3 different sizes. Lime line, 1/4 inch, lime line, 1/8 inch, and then there's a 16th in there as well. 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, 16th inch. So, a couple things that I always remember is it's better to start with the larger, the fatter tape. 1/4 inch. If you're going to use the 1/4 inch, start with the 1/4 inch. Don't go overboard. As you can see on this, I only used 1/4 inch in 2 different spots. It's the first thing I started with, so I'm going to follow the shape of the part. So there's a ridge right here. I followed that ridge here, and then I followed the outside of the shape of this, where the windshield's supposed to go. So after I did that, I kind of just built off of what I have going on here. So right here, I started with 1/8 inch, kind of went off, you know, what is that, about 1 inch right there off of that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Missed a tape line right here. And then, you know, kind of followed that shape right here. I just made a line from here to here to kind of make that swoop. Once again, you can always lay down the tape. If it doesn't look good, just peel it off. Just try something else. So once I got that going, and I feel like I have enough 1/4 inch, and then I moved to 1/8 inch here, and then really all I do with the 16th, the smaller right here, is I just accent the 1/8 inch lines, and I usually only accent one side of it. As you can see, you know, each 1/8 inch has a 16th inch paired with it about a 16th inch away. Another cool thing is, see right here where it comes to a point. Okay, this 16th inch line right here, I ran a corner around that. I feel like that looks really good because I could have easily came down to this point right here and cut it straight, just like this, which would look fine too. You're just gonna follow the same shape, but I like this right here. I think it's just something, I think it's just visually looks good. So I try to do that. So I try to take a corner and then follow it up with that, with the 16th inch right there. So once the tape lines were laid out like they were at the first of this video, I just hit it with black base coat in the airbrush. I can show you real quick. Right there. So black base coat, no clear coat in this. It's just base coat. It dries fast. As long as it's applied with an airbrush. If it's applied with a gun, it takes, you know, 5-10 minutes, depends on how warm it is in your shop, but out of an airbrush, dries fast. Seconds. Mix this 1-to-1, maybe 2-to-1 with urethane reducer. Any urethane reducer is going to work, and that makes it sprayable. So I hit the edges in that jet black base coat. That's when you guys jumped in on the first of this live right here. And yeah, taped out the graphics. I used the Oriental blue with the, I don't have the can. Oh, I do have a can here. No, I don't. I mixed that with the clear base coat, which basically it's just like the black base coat, but it's clear. So we're mixing the candy concentrate with the clear base coat. So that makes it so it's not so intense. You know, you could spray that right out of the bottle and reduce it, but it's going to be too, it's just, it's like Kool-Aid. Imagine you're not going to put the whole Kool-Aid packet and only put, you know, half the water in it. It's going to be too strong, too potent. So you can always, that mixture too there's no hard rules with that mixture. If you want like a really light blue, you don't want too overpowering, you can always just mix more intercoat, base coat, intercoat clear, clear base coat, same thing. You mix a little bit more of that. Then you reduce it with a urethane reducer to make it sprayable, like I said before. So that's all that does. It just makes it so it's thin enough to spray it. So the candy needs the two components, clear base coat and the candy concentrate. Yeah, so I used a couple of different stencils here. I used the tape to make the sun rays. Easy enough. I used the 16th inch tape here to make this maze. And I used a stencil that I got off Amazon, wood grain right here, which kind of goes like a tear effect. I like the way it looks on here. And then finally, we did add a little bit of accents of some faded lines inside that 1/4 inch. So what's going to happen next? Okay, well, I'll let you know what's going to happen next right now. This will go into clear coat. So hear me out right here. This is going to be really important. When you go to clear coat this thing, don't go hammering clear coat right off the bat. So I could just go hang this in the booth right now and just hammer it with the first coat of clear. Just trying to get it finished. It's not the right thing to do. What's going to happen is, especially if it's a little bit colder in your booth or your garage or wherever you're spraying, it's going to take the candy and it's going to make it run. It's because once clear coat is sprayed and it's sprayed thick, thicker than what it should be, what it's going to do is going to kind of shift a little bit. It's going to kind of move and flatten out. What will happen is it'll take some of that candy and re-wet it. It'll suck it up in to the clear coat and it'll kind of shift it around, which it'll bleed through into your line. So you'll get bleed through. So I'll probably end up doing another live one of these times showing how I clear coat these afterwards. But you definitely 100% have to put a tack coat on these with clear coat before you start going full bore with full coats. So what I mean by a tack coat, if you don't know what a tack coat is, you're going to dust a few coats of clear onto this to get the to kind of give it a little bit of protection. That way it has a couple of tack dryer coats that will build up a little bit of a clear coat, to when you start to put on a little bit thicker coats towards the end, it has enough of a barrier there to protect the candy from moving. So take your time. Don't rush it when it comes to clear coat. Definitely don't rush it, because you will, if you try to hammer it on, you're going to ruin it. You're definitely going to ruin the job. So yes, that will go into clear coat. At that point, it'll get smoothed out. And what I mean by smoothed out is after it's clear coated and it's dry, I'm going to sand it with 600 grit. I'll Scotch-Brite the edges. And then I'll start with some of the details. So an important thing to remember with some of these more complex paint jobs like these is you don't have to paint everything on one layer. I mean, most people think you paint it, you clear it, you're done. Well, that's not the case. This has been painted and cleared a few different times, and it still will go through a couple of, this will go at least through 2 more sessions before it's finished. So it'll go through a session of clear coat like I was talking about, and I'll wait 12 hours or so for it to dry, depending on the clear coat you're going to use. And then it'll get sanded with a 600 grit, and then I'll go ahead and I'll add things like a drop shadow right here. So I would tape this off, and I would add a little purple drop shadow right there, purple or black, just to kind of tuck that line up underneath. So those are some of the details that I'll do later on. But for now, what this really needs is it needs some clear coat so I can lock everything down. The nice thing about clearing in between stages is that if you have a problem, you can sand off, say like you spilled some paint on your project out of the airbrush. Maybe you were doing drop shadow and a little bit of paint dropped on there. You could just wipe it off. It's pretty much like you're saving that layer of paint by clear coating over it. It's like Photoshop. You're going to create a layer and you're going to work on that layer That way you're not disturbing what's underneath. And that's kind of the purpose. That's the same kind of principle that with doing these paint jobs is, yeah, I mean, sometimes people ask, well, how many coats of clear did that take? And I'll say, well, it took like, we'll see, it went into the booth 5 times, or say 4 times, counting the clear that we had to do in order to get the metal flake on there. 4 times, 3 to 4 coats each. That's a lot of clear coat. I'm not good at math, but that's a lot of clear coat. So, and they're like, what the hell, man? That's just what it takes. I mean, if you're going to try to skimp and you're going to try to do it all in one shot, well, go for it. But I don't do it. I feel like it's better just to clear at the end of the day. It's not that big of a deal. By the time I come in the morning, it's usually dry and ready to go. So it's like clear coat's usually a thing I do at the end of the day. This will go in, and it'll be ready for me tomorrow to scuff down and to add these drop shadows. But okay, kind of went off on a little tangent there, but that's it. That's what's in store for this thing. Like I said, I wish I could read the comments more. I probably should have been while I was talking, but there it is, guys. And I appreciate you being here. And for that super sticker, man, I really appreciate that. I haven't got very many of those, and that's just awesome. But I'm glad I can help you guys. Hit me up in the comments if I didn't answer your question, and let me know if you like this video. I'm going to try to do more. Hopefully I get these things fixed. But yeah, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks.